Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.
Good day, Madam.
Good day, Sam.
How are you, buddy?
Fantastical. Radtastical is what we said.
Yeah, I thought it was
That's
radtastical.
the new word, radtastical.
Yeah, I think that's what we officially kind of like archived with Nate Offert was radtastical.
And the rad is capitalized and the tastical is lowercase.
That's right. That's right. And we got red glasses on today. Are those the snap-on cover or what?
These are because it's been a long day on the computer. These are like the blue blocker, like old person glasses type people. Yes.
Yep, she always tends to kind of amaze me with the 70,000 pair of glasses that she has. So I'm glad we still get to focus on that. It tends to be the focal of the beginning of these. So
people really remember that at conference last week. So many people really enjoy watching us on YouTube because they can see the glasses, like what color they are, what style. So
exactly. Yeah. Buddy, today we have a giant with us in the industry, and my goodness, I don't know, I don't know if I've ever been this excited, Miranda. I mean, we've had some pretty amazing guests. This dude is just changing the industry. He is pulling, like, it's crazy. At first, I didn't really understand it, and I was kind of shy toward it. But he is just pulling all of these other IMO, independent marketing organizations, kind of together and taking the best of the best and like putting agents against each other from all these different IMOs. He's doing 8% nation like boot camps all over. I'm probably going to speak out of turn here a little bit, but dude just got to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube there, and he said, "Man, we're gonna go to 1 million because the first 100,000 is a little bit harder, but you get into 1 million is gonna be a little bit easier." You know, it's so funny. I watched your team kind of prank you the other day on the shirts, like, and I kind of got a good chuckle out of that. But you know, it's so funny is it really is a sign of brilliance. Albert Einstein, if you didn't know this, Miranda, bought 13 different grades, like colors of gray in his suits, because it was one less thing that he actually had to think about and give any thought process into, because he wanted all of his brain power going into development, wanted going into things. So Cody, next time your team says something like that to you, just say, "Look, I got some little Albert Einstein kind of going on in me. Go look up his story." And, I promise it shut him down so quick. But again, I could sit here and spend another 5 minutes going on and on and on about your accolades and what you've done and what you're doing and how much of an impact you're making in the insurance space and how we're watching from afar. And we're so excited, man, to have you on here with us and be a part of this. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Cody Askins. We should do like a, yes, like an awesome little golf.
You guys are awesome, man. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you, John and Miranda. I'm not that big. I'm only like 180 pounds. Okay. I need my glasses. Team, can we grab those? That's important for this. And I'm not that smart. You know, I'm a kind of a dumb kid from Arkansas that just works hard, and hangs out with cool people like y'all. Right.
A dumb kid from Arkansas that is just making waves. So I guess if you can do it, anyone can do it. I don't know.
Amen to that.
Right.
I mean, shoot, on that note, like literally probably 7 years ago, I told myself I'm just like, I would tell myself, like, I don't believe you should give things a voice, but I did. Right. And I would say that I'm not very creative. Like I'm not good at ideas. I'm not creative. I'm not good at bringing things to life. And it's like, now I look and I'm like, I think everybody's a little more creative than we like to give ourselves credit for.
Yeah. Well, dude, creativity is in your wheelhouse. That's for sure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
I think it's just more of a humble thing that you're doing. So you are on the Don't Suck at Sales podcast.
Boom.
Yes. We're elated to have you. And so Don't Suck at Sales. Again, we're watching you. We're watching what you're doing in this industry. We watch some of your trainings. Like, it is so awesome what you're doing. And so what we want to do is we want to help you help our listeners and just really kind of like, let's focus on something. We can focus on maybe the phones, or we could focus on kind of the sales presentation, whatever it is that you want, like whatever your kind of go-to in your gut instinct or your heart
Sure.
tells you. But like, what is something that no questions asked? Like, if you weren't to do this, let's just go with the sales presentation. Inside of the sales presentation, if you weren't to do this every single time, you know for a fact that your results would not be anywhere near as good as they are when it comes to meeting with a family.
To not
And
sucking at sales.
you're not sucking at sales.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yes.
What do you think that like maybe one or even maybe two things are? I know for like some people, like who was it? Edward was like, it's not even about the sales presentation. Edward was like, it is about the phones and how it starts there, where I
Mm.
agree with that, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Miranda was eating it up. She's like, oh, no. Right? Like, definitely it starts on the phones, where I'm like, like, my thing is like, man, once you really dig into what it is that they desire, what it is that they need, like you dig into the core of their why, I feel
Yep.
like I can do anything. And then
Amen.
we've had another guy where he's like, listen, it's about the start of the presentation. You truly kind of laying out the foundation for what to expect and really just kind of laying it on thick right there. You get to overcome objections right there. You get to, there's so many different things that you can do right there. You get to tell them that you're filling out an application. You get to. So what is your niche? Like, what is Cody Askins?
Yeah.
Want to
This is
know,
good.
here's what we have to focus on.
I love it. So I got 3 things that came to mind really quick, right? I could talk about this for days. First is most people are like, they jump out in a presentation and then their goal is to like build rapport for like 5, 10, 15 minutes and interrogate someone and make it seem real and like it's not rehearsed. And you know what I mean? So, but for me, I am building rapport throughout a call, throughout a sell, versus like trying to cram it all in the beginning because it's like part of the process, right? And so here's a good example. If we're going through the sales process and at some point, you know, it's like, hey, by the way, where are you from? You know, and it comes up, right? And they're like, Arkansas, you know, or wherever they say, Texas, right? I'm not going to, most agents, they'll be like, oh, cool. Okay, awesome. Also, who do you want your beneficiary to be? Right. Where with me, I'm like, no. They gave you something. I'm going to build rapport for a second, and then I'm going to transition back into the sell. Right. So as an example, if it's Texas, I'm like, dude, Texas, man, what part of Texas? Oh, I'm in, you know, Waco, you know, oh, dude, that makes me think of 10 Cup and playing golf. And like, dude, do you play golf? I love playing golf, you know, and my dad's got season tickets to the Cowboys and I love going to the Cowboys. Are you a Cowboys fan or are you not? Are you going to hate me now? How's that work? You know, like, dude, like, there's so many small opportunities to like really build rapport and get to know someone throughout a sell, not just in the beginning, that most people don't pick up on those little bitty signs along the way. Right. So that's one.
Because they're too focused on what they're going to say and not focused on being present in that moment. Dude, I am so with you. I did this big whole skit a while back where it's like, just don't be weird. Like in the rapport building, don't be weird. Like if you hear barking, like, oh, do you got a dog? No, dude. Yeah, I got a dog. You just heard it bark, right? Like, don't be weird with it. Like, if it doesn't come to you naturally and casually, just let it go, write it down, let it go. Let's bring it up later. Building rapport throughout, I think, is one of the most important things that we can do, because you're right. People do accentuate that in the beginning. That's so good, Cody.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. And the next one is most people most people are like, dude, I don't know what questions to ask. You know, I don't know what to say. And a lot of times if we don't know what to ask, we start, what do? Talking, right? We start telling, we just start vomiting on people, right? And then it's like, then they're off in la la land and they're asleep and they're like, I'm out, right? They check out. One of the things that I do and I teach my team to do and I teach agents to do is I really believe that one of the easiest ways to figure out what you should say next is based on what they just said. So a lot of times I will use an answer that they give to tie into my next question, right? So if the answer, if the question is, one of the questions I love to ask when I'm transitioning is like, hey, what got you thinking about this? Why are we on the phone today, right? If they say, well, you know, and this is kind of twofold, right? If they're like, well, my father passed away and he didn't have coverage and it's important to me, right? I don't want to leave my family in the same position. Phenomenal, right? There's a couple things there. One, there's a chance to talk about that and build rapport naturally with anything, right? But also there's a chance to use that answer to lead some of your next questions, right? So when they share that and they drop that, right? And they just drop it down, you could easily jump in and be like, okay, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that. How did he pass? You know, how long ago was this? you mentioned you didn't have coverage. What did y'all do? Instead of skating past it and be like,
Yeah,
I don't want to awkwardly talk about it.
yeah. How did that affect the family?
Correct.
Right?
Yes. So
What is,
good.
yeah, right. How did that affect the family? Like, what does it mean that you didn't have coverage? What type of challenges did you face? What did you guys
Yes.
kind of go through? What did you grow through? Like, I have 5 billion questions to ask from that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Love that because it does tie it. Go ahead,
We're
Mark.
always saying go 7 layers deep. Like you can, right? Like someone says something like that, you can ask 7 questions about that.
Yeah.
And like,
True.
yeah, that's so good. So
Cool.
ask a question based on their answer.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be random. Like, let's just say I'm selling,
Golf balls.
selling a, do what?
It's a golf balls.
Golf balls. Yeah. They're like, yeah, man, like, I'm not a, I feel like I always slice the ball. Why do you
Mhm.
feel like you slice the ball, man? Like, talk to me. Like, why do you think you do that? Like that, those can lead your next questions, right? And it sets it up. It makes it so like non-confrontational and easy and feel like less of interrogation. It feels like you're also paying attention to what they're saying versus just asking a random question that makes no sense with what they just asked. Like you just have to ask it. So I've got to ask it. So I'm going to ask it, So that's the second one. Okay.
Yeah.
And the third, I think will surprise a lot of people. So a lot of people get to the end of a presentation and here's what I've learned before. I'll start with this first. I've learned that average salespeople ask someone to buy insurance. I've also learned that great salespeople tell someone to buy insurance. So here's an example. Most people in a sales process, we're asking questions the whole time.
Yeah.
And then we get to the end. And guess what we do? We just ask, hey, interested in this? Hey, you want to do this? Hey, what's your budget? Hey, you want to see if you qualify? What do you think? Like just, and some of those are really dumb, right? But great salespeople, they ask, then they get to the end and they're like, hey, based on everything you shared, we should totally apply for this. I'm excited to help you and your family. Here's what we're going to do. And here's how it works. Not, what do you think? Right? So it's asking versus telling is what I call it. And I prefer to tell at the end because so many people, they're like, I struggle to close, right? Dude, as long as I set it up right and I've built rapport and I've connected and I know what they need and then I go tell them what we're going to do. Most people want to be led. Like when I go to a restaurant and I'm like, hey, what's the best thing on the menu? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, why am I here if you don't like something here? Right? It drives me nuts. So same thing in sales. I want someone to lead me and tell me what the freak I'm going to order.
Yeah. They need you to lead them. Like if you're not leading the client, like you're doing them a disservice because they, right? And like, I love that at the end too. That's always one of my kind of like go-tos is like, look, I can't make any promises that we can get you the coverage. I'm just going to promise you to try my best. And here's the one that I'm going to recommend. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay. Boom. Done. Right. I didn't ask, I told. And like, there's like kind of like a weird assumption there too, from a psychological standpoint where they're like, oh, well, no. It's okay. Just as long as you promise to do your best, like we're good. Right. But
that's good.
But I'm still telling them what we're going to do. Yeah. So good, man.
Thanks, bro.
I like saying, it's almost like for the ladies that are listening, when you walk out of a change room, it's like you're like showing off this outfit and people be like, yeah, it looks good. Or is it, oh my gosh, I love that. You need to buy it right now. Like it's like, which one are you?
That's good. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I hope a bunch of people that are working at the mall or fashion store or somewhere just freaking heard that. Because when I walk out and I got something on, I got some new shoes on, like make me feel good. That's great. Miranda, that's awesome.
Right. Yeah. Well, Miranda, this is exactly what I wanted out of it. We got 3 golden nuggets from Cody Askins, and we are just out of time. I could spend hours and hours and hours with this dude just because it so relates to my style and the way that I present. But Miranda, what do they got to do?
They don't suck at, okay, this is what we said before, but I'll say it again. You can't listen to this podcast, Don't Suck at Sales, and then suck at sales. So do your due diligence. I'm just joking. But subscribe, put your favorite takeaway in the comments.
Yeah, in the comments if you want to see Cody Askins back. Actually, Cody, why don't you give yourself a little plug on kind of what they can do to kind of follow you and get some more of your tips and tricks and
let's do it. Yeah, man, I love it. So the best place to follow will be on YouTube. We just hit 100,000 subs. We put over 2,500 videos. We have one of the bigger insurance agent training channels in the world, if not the biggest. So you can go check me out there. If you want to see behind the scenes day to day, you should follow me on Instagram. Because like right when before we started this, I showed a little Instagram story and I tagged John, I tagged Miranda, right? Like I'm constantly doing that. So you can go to @Cody.Askins on Instagram to follow me. And here's one thing I'll say. Everybody's got a friend or a salesperson or an agent that they know that is not doing as well at this as they should. And here's what you should do. You should send them this episode and share it with them and say, hey, I want you to not suck at sales anymore. And you should check this out.
Oh, what a plug. Dude, thank you so much. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate you. And hopefully we can have you back and just tap into that brain a little bit more. And my goodness, man. Thank you. We know we value your time so much. So
you guys are
Miranda,
awesome.
like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. And go follow Cody as well, because I promise you, dude's a beast. Bye, y'all.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We truly appreciate all of the comments and all the love and all the outpouring that you guys are giving us. If you want to contact us individually, if you have certain questions for us about this particular episode, or if you have questions about anything, any ideas, tips, or tricks that you want to share with us, please click the link below. You'll have a direct access link to Miranda and a direct access link to myself.
Yep, keep the ideas coming, guys, because anything that we can do to help you not suck at sales, well, that's our mission. So it's a wrap.
I go for that gusto. Losing ain't an option. Check a bag and make deposits and deposits and deposits. You see me shining.